If you grew up watching television in the 90s, you probably assumed anyone who appeared on a mega-hit kids show was set for life. Even the background actors breathing in the stage smoke seemed like they held a golden ticket to Hollywood success. Skylar Deleon looked like he was making the most of that start. He had a few minor TV credits, completed a brief stint in the United States Navy, and by his mid-20s, he was married with a child on the way. On the other side of the California coast were Tom and Jackie Hawks. They had spent their lives working, raised a family, and were finally enjoying a quiet retirement aboard their luxury yacht. Then they vanished. When police began tracking the couple's last known movements, the trail stopped at the docks. The last person to see Tom and Jackie alive was Skylar Deleon, who had recently answered an ad to buy their boat. Questioned by investigators, Skylar claimed the older couple took his money and walked away. He told police he paid for the yacht in cash, using a massive pile of savings he'd held onto since his days as a child actor. Minor TV extras don't typically have that kind of capital. The math didn't add up, raising a specific question. How was a 90s television gig being used to mask a missing persons case? Skylar's Hollywood wealth was a fabrication. He was actually bouncing between failed schemes, in debt, and looking for a massive payday to maintain a lifestyle he felt he deserved. The Hawks' advertisement to sell their yacht provided a target. Skylar arranged a meeting and arrived at the marina looking polished and respectful. He didn't come alone. He brought a notary, a friend, and his pregnant wife, Jennifer. Tom and Jackie were cautious, but seeing a young, expectant couple seemingly ready to start their own family adventure lowered their defenses. Skylar used his family man persona as a tactical advantage. By leaning on the trust society places in expectant families and recognizable faces, he gained full physical access to the Hawks and their boat. The group headed out onto the Pacific for a routine test sail, but once the shoreline faded and they reached isolated open water, the atmosphere shifted. Skylar and his accomplices dropped the act. They ambushed Tom and Jackie, overpowering them on their own deck and tightly binding their hands and feet. As the couple begged for their lives, attackers dragged them to the edge of the boat. Instead of leaving them stranded, the crew tethered the Hawks to the yacht's heavy iron anchor. Tom and Jackie were forced overboard. The weight dragged them straight down into the freezing water, leaving them to drown in the absolute dark. Accomplices later testified that as the bubbles stopped rising to the surface, Skylar didn't look away. He cheered. He laughed like an excited kid, taking the wheel and steering his stolen prize back to the harbor. This went beyond a robbery gone wrong. Witness testimony describes a man who took genuine pleasure in the act, detached from human empathy. Back on land, Skylar's alibi fractured. Financial auditors found no record of a massive withdrawal from his accounts, and the Hawks Bank never received a deposit. This chart maps Skylar's cell phone data against his sworn statements. While he claimed to be elsewhere, his signal was actually bouncing off towers near the marina, and later, pings from the open ocean placed him directly at the scene during the exact window of the disappearance. The same data revealed evidence of premeditation. In the hours leading up to the ambush, there is a spike in coordinated calls between Skylar and the men he hired to help him carry out the attack. Inside the yacht, police found a VHS tape. It contained footage of Skylar and Jennifer hosting their own family Thanksgiving on board, just days after the murders. They had recorded their celebration directly over the Hawks' own family home movies. They were overriding the victims' memories with their own. Taping over the VHS symbolizes the true motive, completely erasing Tom and Jackie Hawks to steal their life, assets, and history. The physical and digital evidence led to swift convictions. Jennifer received life in prison without the possibility of parole, and in 2008, Skylar was sentenced to death. Even in custody, Skylar showed no remorse. In later interviews, he stated that he never felt evil while committing the murders. He only felt numb, as if the violence meant nothing to him. The media focused on the fall of a child star, but that label was only a convenient mask. Skylar Deleon used the trust we place in a wholesome Hollywood illusion to feed a terrifying internal darkness. Ultimately, the tragedy belongs to Tom and Jackie Hawks, two people who earned their retirement, only to have it stolen by a man who valued nothing.